Alright everyone, the long-awaited fateful day has come. The Twitter layoffs begin today. Yes, it's been announced on fairly short notice by Musk and others. Yes, Twitter is going to purge several thousand employees, possibly up to half of its entire workforce. I have a feeling a lot of it is for efficiency purposes, and some of it, I'm assuming that they're going to go through Slack, the messaging system the employees use with each other, and find out sort of who wants to quit the job. Like has been complaining, well, I'm just going to quit my job because I don't like Elon Musk and shit like that. Well, bye. You are replaceable, believe it or not. And a lot of it, I think, will also be aimed at the bureaucratic structure of Twitter. What happens in large businesses, when you get up there into the thousands of employees level, you end up with a bureaucracy of middle management usually, where people's jobs overlap, where people's jobs aren't really necessary. You've got some things, of course, that can be automated as well. And Twitter is going to go through, I believe, that sort of transformation. I think if I remember correctly, Musk also wants to move Twitter HQ to Texas. So if that were to happen, of course, some employees aren't going to be willing to make the move. They would have to be let go of. You'd have proper cause. Hey, we're not going to be here anymore, so, I'm not allowing remote work. Because Elon Musk seems to be a big non-fan of remote work for most purposes. And he's already admonished people there like, hey, if you can't actually get to the job, then fuck you. I support this. I hope that part of it is meritocratic, though. Fighting the bloat of middle management's fine. Releasing people who aren't going to actually make the move if that happens. Firing people simply because they've chronically whined about how they want to quit anyway. So you're like, well, I'm giving you the opportunity. Here's your severance package. You can go work for Google or Facebook or something. That's all well and good. I can't imagine that's 3,500 employees that fit into both of those groups. Get rid of some of the pink-haired pearl clutchers and soy boys that are cluttering up the country just to replace them with people that have sanity. People who are capable of following their own rules. Twitter often flaunts its own terms of service by randomly banning or harassing people for things that clearly don't violate any actual rule. You've had Twitter accounts locked for tweets that are clearly satirical, that contain nothing that a reasonable person, so not a San Francisco dwelling pink-haired freak, a reasonable person would consider to be even offensive, let alone, beyond the edge of the scope of the TOS themselves. This happens constantly. It also happens on other platforms. Facebook famously went through a massive purge only a few years ago, where they were knocking off even progressive pages because it was like a cop watch and shit like that. Well, we can't allow this. Yeah, you're doing nothing illegal. Yeah, you're not posting violent content. You're just saying, hey, here's us filming a cop planting crack in a black man's car, but they still remove the page. I remember that. It was funny because the entire whining about it was about right-wing pages being removed when a good chunk of them were actually far left. they were like the closest thing you'll get to left libertarianism in practice. Doesn't exist as an ideology, but we'll get past that. Just a little swipe at some of the morons out there that keep trying to make that a thing, along with MAGA communism and National Bolshevism and other bullshit ideologies that make no sense and basically self-refute. So yeah, the day has come. Elon Musk getting sued, by the way, immediately by some people at Twitter. Well, this runs afoul of California's WARN Act. You're supposed to give us more notice than this. I think that Elon Musk alluded to the possibility of firing a bunch of people before he even took over the company. I don't know whether he'll be found guilty of violating California law, and I suspect that he does not give a damn. I suspect that he'll go forward with the layoffs, move the campus to Texas or something, and that's that. If he has to pay an extra $1 billion to the state of California or to a handful of plaintiffs who feel aggrieved, I don't think that Elon Musk gives a damn. He realizes that if he institutes his $8 a month blue check program and knocks some of the morons whining on the platform off their pedestals, from that alone he's going to be making a shit ton of extra money per month and paying half as many people their salaries. Well, that sounds like you might finally be solvent as a company. The hope, of course, is Twitter is capable of restoring some semblance of functionality. So he's got a council going, and all the leftoids are at the table too. So I think that he's got it set up that way so nobody can say that he did it unilaterally. In coordination with the SPLC, Elon Musk has decided to rescind some of the worst censorship on the site. Well, he's already pledged to remove lifetime bans, so if he just does that, it no longer even makes any meaningful difference if he's talking to people from the fucking ADL or the SPLC. I think that it's a smokescreen, just to be clear. I'm willing to wait and see what happens with the TOS changes over the coming months. No Trump on Twitter before the midterms. It's too short of notice, for example. Laying off a huge block of employees, again, a double-digit proportion of the entire force that works at Twitter, I think is the first step in his mind to making the company solvent. I don't even think it's ideological so much. Again, I think much of this is aimed at the bureaucratic bloat of middle management, or something like that. I just hope that some of the more censorious jerk-offs that are constantly harassing the user base outside of TOS are also let go of. It'd be a more efficient company. It'd be one probably that would garner better brand loyalty. You'll remember back in the golden years of the 2000s, early 2010s, a lot of these companies were extremely reluctant to censor basically anything. And they had huge brand loyalty as the result of this. There was a time when YouTube and other companies fought against SOPA and ACTA and PIPA. You'll remember that was in the early days of the Obama administration mainly. And they would have a big splash screen saying, please sign the petition, and here's why it's a bad idea. It'll hand tie our company, and, basically fuck the government. The government's messing up, and you need to make your voice heard. When's the last time that you saw anything like that from Zuckerberg or from the people at Google? When's the last time Mozilla did that? Supposedly the free speech browser. That was long before they partnered with the Rothschilds and Soroses of the world, by the way, to obscure things algorithmically. It looks like Twitter might end up being the last man standing, so to speak, simply by pulling back just the outermost layer of censorship. By simply cutting parts of the workforce and moving to a lower tax state in order to make ends meet, to make sure things are actually profitable. A lot of the big tech firms are dubious in their actual long-term profitability because of their reliance on ad networks. And basically that means that everyone has to suck Google's cock for the most part. If they're reliant upon apps, Google and Apple, they suck their cocks at the same time. Elon Musk, I think, understands this and wants to build sort of a separate network that goes beyond just people having the dumpster fire that is current Twitter. That's about all. Peace out.